of the world's top riders say that riding a hardtail makes you a better mountain biker. And it makes sense. Not having rear suspension inevitably makes you pick a smoother line, a better line. Also, the lack of a rear shock makes you use your legs to help your rear wheel track the ground. In this video, I'm counting down my top 10 favorite aggressive trail hardtails. Psst, I also have a bonus bike if you stick around till the end. These are 10 serious bikes for shredders that want to take their riding to another level. I'll be starting this top 10 right after I go over price point and exactly what I look for in a hardtail. The bikes on this list range between $2,000 to $3,000 US. And I've also tried my best to include bikes that are available all over the world, so there should definitely be a bike in there for everyone. If this price point's a little too high for it and you're looking for more budget options, click on this video right here where I go over my top 5 favorite budget hardtails under $1,000. The 5 things I look for while picking bikes for this list is modern geometry. The bike's gotta have a slack head tube angle, steep seat tube angle, and nice short chainstays. This will make the bike playful, easy on the climbs, and confidence inspiring on the descents. A dropper post is a must for bikes in this price range. The bike needs to have 4-piston hydraulic brakes. Having confidence in your braking power is a must on steep trails. I'm looking for strong wheels with 29-inch tires, and finally, a great parts spec. The last thing you want when you're spending a bunch of money on a new bike is having to replace a bunch of stuff right off the bat. Just before we kick off this top 10, I want to hear from you. If you're considering getting a hardtail, or maybe you just picked one up, which one did you get, or which one are you thinking about getting? Write it in the comments below. I'll pause the video for you. All right, all done? Let's go. Coming in at number 10 is the GT Zaskar LT Expert. At 2025, this thing's equipped with everything you're gonna need. With the new frame for 2022, the Zaskar's got a 66-degree head tube angle, 75-degree seat tube angle, but fairly long 450mm chainstays. Won't be easy to manual, but it'll keep you nice and steady on the trail. The alloy frame features floating seat stays, a threaded bottom bracket, boost through axles, and a tapered head tube. With 130 mils of travel, the RockShox fork comes with 15 mil through axles and a 51mm offset. The drivetrain is a big mix of SRAM components. In the back, you've got an SX Eagle 11 to 50 tooth 12-speed cassette. The derailleur's a SRAM NX Eagle, and the NX cranks are mated to a 32 tooth narrow wide chainring. The 29-inch WTB rims are tubeless ready, but the 2.4-inch wide Maxxis Raycons are not, unfortunately. The hydraulic brakes are Shimano MT410s with 160mm rotor out back and 180 in the front. The seat post is a Trans X dropper with internal routing, and as for the cockpit, it's a big mix of GT alloy house brand, 780mm wide bars, and a nice short 45mm stem. The only thing I can see upgrading on this thing is maybe getting the longer dropper post, upgrading the brakes to 4-piston, and slapping on some tubeless tires. Other than that, for $2,000, this thing's a good buy. At number 9 on my list is the Nukeproof Scout 290. The Scout's available in black or yellow as frame only, as well as 4 different builds. Frame only, the bike will set you back $590. The fully loaded RS build will set you back $3,550, while the base model Race in artichoke green is only $1,650. My pick for this list though is the comp build in bullet gray. The new frame's geometry is on the aggressive side of things, and I like that. 64.5 degree head angle, 74 degree seat tube angle, and nice short 432mm chainstays. Perfect. The comp build comes with 140mm travel Marzocchi Bomber Z2 with a boost through axle and rail damper. It comes with a Shimano Dior 12-speed drivetrain with a nice big 10 to 51 tooth Hyperglide Plus cassette in the back. Also, the brakes are Shimano Dior M6120 4-piston brakes with resin pads. Check these rotors out. 180mm in the back and 203mm up front. This is going to give you some serious braking power. 800mm bars, 45mm stem, and in size large, 170mm seat post. Nice. It all rolls on 29-inch WTB KOM trail rims with a 30mm internal width, and they're wrapped with the Schwalbe Magic Mary up front and Knobby Nick in the back. Available from wiggle.com at $2,200, there's very little I would change about this thing. Solid buy. At number 8 is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's Specialized Fuse Expert 29. Specialized say the Fuse is happiest on trails that make other hardtails cry. This super capable trail bike comes with 130 millimeters of travel and your choice of 27.5 or 29-inch wheels. When shopping for the Fuse, you have 5 options. A frame only option at $1,000, two 27.5 build kits starting at $1,800, and two 29-inch build options going all the way up to $3,000. My pick for the Fuse though is the Fuse Expert 29 at $2,900. I picked this build kit because it comes with 130 millimeter travel Fox Float 34 rhythm with a grip damper, and I'm a sucker for Fox suspension. The stout stem and handlebar combo make up the cockpit, and out back for the seat post you've got the Trans X dropper. 125 millimeter rise in the medium and 150 millimeter rise in large and above. The bike has SRAM G2 4-piston hydraulic brakes and a 160-180 combo on the extra small to medium and a 180 200mm rotor on the large to extra large. SRAM also takes care of the whole drivetrain on this bike. You get a mix of GX and NX components with a 10 to 52 tooth cassette in the back. It's got specialized alloy rims with a 29mm internal width, making them super stiff. And those are wrapped in 2.6-inch wide Eliminator tires with their grid trail casing and T7 compound. The Fuse has a 66.5 degree head tube angle, 74 degree seat tube angle, and get this, the rear dropout is adjustable. You can set it in long or short version. The short version's got 420mm chainstays, and the long version's got 435. That's cool. At $2,900 bucks, it might be the most expensive bike on the list, but I think it's got a lot of cool things going for it. Taking the number 7 spot is the Ragley Big 1.0. This burly and lightweight alloy frame's got pretty dialed geometry. 65.5 head tube angle, 74 degree seat tube angle, and nice short 435mm chainstays. Perfect. The fork the Big Al comes with is 140mm travel Marzocchi Bombers Z2. And that's all controlled up top by Ragley alloy 800mm handlebars mated to a 50mm stem. The wheels are 29-inch Nukeproof Neutrons, and they're wrapped in Maxxis Minion tires. 2.5-inch wide Maxxis Minion DHF in the front, and a 2.4-inch wide Maxxis Minion DHR2 in the back. Everything in this group is tubeless ready. For a drivetrain, the Big Al comes with Shimano Dior components. You've got a Shimano Dior M5100 11-speed clutch derailleur with Shadow Plus design in the back, and a Shimano Dior 11 to 51 tooth 11-speed cassette. The brakes on this bad boy are SRAM DB8s with 180mm rotors front and back. The dropper the Big Al comes with is a Brandex Ascend internally routed 150mm drop for medium, and large and extra large get a 170mm drop. Also, when you buy this bike, Ragley includes a little bit of touch-up paint for your frame, a chainstay protector to keep that chain from slapping around, and the frame comes with a 5-year warranty with a lifetime crash replacement. How good is that? Available from wiggle.com, and at $18.99, this by far is the best value bike on this list. Coming in at number 6 is another value king, the Davinci Cobain Dior 12-speed. At under $2,000 US, the Cobain comes with a very impressive build kit and is ready to hit the trails. Made in Canada and designed for the gnarly terrain we have out here, the Cobain is rock solid, and its modern geometry puts you in a very powerful, confident position. It has a 65.5 degree head tube angle, 75 degree seat tube angle, and nice short 435mm chainstays. Up front, it's got a burly 130mm Marzocchi Z2, and it all rolls on 29-inch, 29mm wide V2 comp rims. These are wrapped in big 2.6-inch wide Maxxis Minion DHF in the front and DHR2 in the back. For gearing, you've got the tried and tested Shimano Dior drivetrain with an 11 to 51 tooth cassette in the back. And for brakes, Shimano takes care of you there. You've got Shimano Dior M4100 2-piston brakes with 180mm rotors front and back. The rest of the build kit has a 780mm wide V2 Pro handlebar, a 50mm V2 Pro stem, and a Trans X dropper. At under $2,000, like I said earlier, this thing is a great bike at a fair price, and it's available from your local Davinci dealer. Rounding out the top 5 is the Rocky Mountain Growler 50. This burly hardtail has a bunch of 21st century touches and is future-proof in every way. The Growler's frame features a threaded bottom bracket, boost-through axles, tapered head tube, and it's compatible with internally routed dropper posts. For a fork, the Growler comes with a RockShox 35 Gold RL with 150mm to travel. This will soak up anything in its way. It rolls on 30mm wide WTB tubeless ready rims, wrapped in 2.6-inch WTB Vigilante up front and WTB Trail Boss in the back. Oh, and get this, Everything's tubeless ready, valves included. The drivetrain here seems to be a big mix of a bunch of really good components. The shifter is Shimano SLX, the derailleur is Shimano XT, and the cassette is a Sunrace 11 to 51 tooth. Great range of gears, awesome parts. For stopping power, the Rocky Mountain Growler 50 comes with Clark's M4 4-piston brakes with resin pads. It's also got 180mm rotors front and back. And rounding off the build kit, you've got Rocky Mountain's own all-mountain bars at 800mm width and 25mm rise. Got a nice short 40mm stem, a Rocky Mountain Toonie Drop alloy dropper post, and Rocky Mountain saddle with chromoly bars. Man, the geo on this bike is dialed. 64-degree head angle, 75-degree seat angle, and nice short 435mm chainstays. This bike's going to be nimble and it's going to give you a ton of confidence on the descents. The Growler comes in 3 different build kits. The Growler 50 is top of the line at $2,200 and comes with everything you want. They also have 2 lower end price points starting at $13.99, and those are available from Jensen USA. Check it out. Coming in at number 4, the Vitus Sentier 29 VRX. Compared to last year, the 2022 frame is longer and has slacker geometry that gives you control and stability to cruise the trickiest sections. It's also got a shorter stem this year to help you through those tight, tricky sections. Vitus has tons of different build kits for the Sentier. You can get it with 27.5 or 29-inch wheels, and budget build kits that go under $1,000. My favorite for this list though is the VRX. It has everything you need. The frame features a threaded bottom bracket, boost through axles, and like I said in the intro, nice modern slacked out geometry. For suspension, Vitus went with the Fox 34 Float Performance. It's got 130 mils of travel, a grip damper, and float air spring. You'll be well taken care of in the drivetrain department with a mix of SLX and XT components. You've got Shimano SLX cranks with a 32 tooth narrow wide chainring up front. You've got a Shimano XT M8100 12-speed Shadow Plus derailleur. There's a Shimano SLX 12-speed shifter up front and a Shimano SLX 12-speed 10 to 51 tooth cassette. The front and rear rims are DT Swiss M1900 spline. Both are tubeless ready with the tubeless tape installed. And for the tires on this build, Vitus went with a 2.4-inch Schwalbe Magic Mary up front and a 2.3-inch Schwalbe Hans Dampf in the back. And for stopping power, Vitus put the Shimano SLX 4-piston up front and 2-piston in the back. It also shows the bike coming with some SRAM DB8 4-piston brakes, probably due to the supply shortage. Either way, these are great brakes and you'll have no issue stopping. It's got a nice short 50mm reach stem, Nukeproof Neutron V2 riser bars, and Nukeproof Neutron saddle. For the seat post, they went with the Brand X Ascend dropper, with 150mm drop on the size large and XL. As for the geometry on the Sentier, it's very well rounded. 66-degree head tube angle, 73-degree seat tube angle, and a little bit longer 439mm chainstays. This will keep the bike planted and stable at speeds. You can pick up most of the Sentier models from Chain Reaction or Wiggle.com. At number 3, I put the Salsa Timberjack XT29, and it retails for $2,099. Recently reviewed by Pink Bike, the Timberjack XT was found to be very versatile and just easy to like. For 2022, and their second generation Timberjack is longer, lower, and slacker for aggressive riding. On the back triangle, you're gonna find something very, very special on this bike. It has what they call Alternator 2.0 dropouts. The adjustable dropout system lets you run the Timberjack geared or in single speed and accommodates multiple different hub standards. Built-in adjustability gives you 17mm of wheelbase travel so you can dial your preferred ride characteristics. That's cool. The other cool things on this frame is you're gonna find 2 water bottle holders and a bunch of mounts on the top and down tube for those long bike packing days. The geometry is very well rounded. It's got a 66.4 degree head angle, 75.1 degree seat tube angle, and like I was talking about earlier with those adjustable dropouts in the back, you can go from 420 to 437 mil for your chainstay length. For suspension fork, the Timberjack comes with the RockShox 35 Gold RL Air with 130mm of travel. The drivetrain is a mix of SLX and XT components. You've got a Shimano SLX 10 to 51 tooth 12-speed cassette, a 32 tooth Shimano MT510 crankset, and Shimano XT shifter and derailleur. And the Shimano MT501s will give you plenty of braking power with a 160mm rotor out back and a 180mm rotor up front. The stem is a 50mm Salsa guide trail. The handlebars are race face Chester with 780mm width and 20mm rise. They also spec a Trans-X dropper post with a bunch of different travels. 125mm for the extra small and small, 150 for the medium, 170 for the large, and 200mm drop for the extra large. The wheels are 29-inch, 30mm wide WTB STs, and it's all wrapped in nice big chunky 2.6-inch Maxxis Minion DHF up front and a Maxxis Raycon in the back. The Salsa Timberjack XT29 is available for just under $2,100, and you can pick one up from your local Salsa dealer. Alright guys, I had a very hard time deciding between my top two bikes. One of them has smaller wheels, a little shorter travel. It is designed for the playful rider. You know, the one that likes to take the bike to the dirt jumps, take all the side hits on the trails. Very playful, awesome bike. The other one is more of a monster truck. Big wheels, long fork, lots of travel, slacked out geometry. It will just roll over absolutely anything. Let's play a game. If you guys know what my top two bikes are, why don't you put it in the comments right now. No cheating, no peeking. Alright, let's do this. At number 2 is the Marin San Quentin 3. This aluminum frame features a dirt jump inspired style but with modern trail geometry. You've got a slack 65-degree head angle, steep 75-degree seat tube angle, and thanks to the smaller 27.5 wheels, you've got a super short 425mm chainstay. For suspension on this bike, Marin went with the RockShox Revelation RC with 130mm of travel. The San Quentin 3 comes with a full Shimano Dior drivetrain with a 12-speed 10 to 51 tooth cassette in the back. It's also equipped with Shimano 4-piston brakes. Nice. It rolls on Marin's double wall alloy TR rims and 2.5-inch Maxxis Assegai front and back. The rest of the build kit is Marin's in-house brand. You've got a 35mm 3D forged stem, a 780mm width mini riser bar, and a Marin Speed Concept saddle. As for a seat post, they went with the X-Fusion Manic dropper with a 125mm drop on the size small and 150mm travel on the size medium to extra large. The Marin San Quentin 3 is a great bike for someone that likes to ride the trails and the dirt jumps. It retails for $23.99, but you can get it from places like Bikes Online as well as Jensen USA for as low as $2,100. And at number 1, drumroll please. Oh my god, this is a mouthful. The Commencal Meta HTAM Race 29. Commencal's been making hardtails for a long time, and their research shows that this is by far their most versatile bike. Enduro, off-road, trails, urban playgrounds, dirt jumps, pump track, you name it, this thing will feel at home anywhere. Starting at $1,500 and going all the way up to $3,500, the Meta Hardtail has a ton of different build kits. And my favorite for this list is the Race 29. This beautiful aluminum frame is wrapped with all of my favorite parts. For a fork, you've got the Fox 36 Performance with 150mm of travel. It's got a fit grip damper, a 3-position compression switch, rebound adjustment, and 15mm boost through axles. The entire drivetrain is Shimano Dior 12-speed with a 10 to 51 tooth cassette in the back. Now the Shimano Dior brakes this bike comes with are only 2-piston. That's easily fixable, you can get 4-piston brakes, but what Commencal's done here to help with that is they put big rotors on this bike. It's got 203mm rotor up front and 180 in the back. The other thing I've done with my Meta and my 2-piston brakes is I put metal brake pads. It really helps with the braking power. For wheels and tires, this Meta comes with Spank 29-inch Spike Race 33 rims, and they're all wrapped with 2.4-inch wide Maxxis dissector front and rear. The bar and stem combo is Commencal's house brand Ride Alpha, 40mm stem and 780mm wide bars. I also like what they've done here with the dropper post. The KS Rage comes in size specific drops. 120mm on the size small, 150 on medium, 170 on large, and 190mm drop on the size extra large. Commencal is a direct-to-consumer brand, which means you won't find these bikes in bike shops or online stores. The only way to get these is through Commencal's website. You buy it and they ship it directly to your front door. Yes! They're amazing people to deal with, and right now, my brand of choice. Now looking through the website here, Commensal's got over a dozen different builds for hardtails. And for 2023, they're even starting to show some mullet options. I'm sure some of those will make it onto the 2023 Buyer's Guide. If you want to see that as soon as it comes out, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now if you made it this far, I'm going to treat you guys with a bonus bike and a sneak peek in my 2023 Buyer's Guide. I present to you the Trek Rosco 8. At $23.99, this bike is fully loaded with everything you're going to need to hit the trails. For 2023, the Trek Rosco comes in 4 different builds as well as frame only, but be careful. The lower price point Rosco 6 has got a slightly steeper head tube angle at 66 degrees, whereas all the other builds have a 65-degree head angle. Perfect. My favorite build out of all of them is going to be the Rosco 8. It comes in 2 different colors, this gorgeous metallic blue and this gnarly army green. And the frame this year has perfect geometry to inspire confidence on the trails. 65-degree head angle, 74.7 degree effective seat angle, as well as 430mm chainstays. For suspension fork, the Rosco 8 comes with 140mm travel RockShox 35 Gold RL with a debonair spring, motion control damper, and a lockout. The rims are the tubeless ready Bontrager Line Comp 30s, and they're wrapped in big, wide 2.6-inch Bontrager XR4s. The drivetrain on the Rosco 8 is all SRAM GX and NX parts. You've got an NX Eagle 12-speed shifter, a GX Eagle 12-speed clutch derailleur, SRAM X1 Eagle cranks with a 30-tooth narrow wide chainring, and a big 12-speed 11 to 50-tooth SRAM cassette. This beautiful bike comes with Shimano 4-piston hydraulic brakes with a big 203mm rotor up front and 180 in the back. Mwah. And finishing off the build kit, for a saddle we've got the Bontrager Arvada. We've got size specific dropper posts from TransX, 100mm of travel for the size small and extra small, 130mm of travel for the size medium, and 150mm of travel for the medium large, large, and extra large. The handlebar is a 780mm width Bontrager Rhythm comp with a 15mm rise. This hardtail from Trek's gonna feel at home on any type of terrain, whether you're riding some pack single track or into the gnarly loose stuff. Like Trek says, it's a laid-back trail mountain bike dressed in a high-quality spec that's ready to party. There's no doubt hardtails are super fun bikes to ride, and they might even be able to help you improve your skills. But if you're after a full suspension trail bike that won't break the bank, click on this video right here. You have 10 seconds. Oh, I'll show you my top 10 budget full suspension trail bikes. See you there.